Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us here tonight on 11 at 11. First tonight, a woman is rescued after she gets caught in raging floodwaters.
It happened when severe weather delivered torrential rain and gusty winds last week in Crawford County, Indiana. Shea Bierman was trying to help her daughter, whose car was stranded in the floodwater. Bierman tried to walk over a flooded roadway, but the current became too strong and Bierman was swept off her feet. 11 at 11's Maggie Rupert spoke with Bierman and the officer who rescued her. Maggie?
Melissa, there's a possibility of more flash flooding tomorrow, and this is a cautionary tale of just how dangerous it can be if you underestimate the depth and power of moving water.
Yeah, I don't know how deep you would guess that.
1 week after rushing waters almost claimed the life of Shea Bierman, she returned to the spot where she held on for her life.
I remember just trying to swim. I remember trying to get above the water.
Heavy rains that night led to flash flooding at this creek along Valeene Road in Marengo. That's where Shea tried to walk through high water.
I noticed that every time I was trying to take one step forward, it was pushing me back.
She was trying to get to her daughter Brittany.
I was heading to my boyfriend's house.
But her car got stranded in floodwaters, and Conservation Officer Terry Allen was on his way to help her when he spotted Shea.
From my vantage point, I could see her walking, and then a few minutes later, she was swept away or knocked down by the current.
I never dreamed it was that strong or that powerful, and it just so happens where it had carried me was probably the deepest part of the creek.
Yeah, that location's probably 10 to 12 foot at the time.
Allen lost sight of Shea for nearly 10 minutes before she rose from the water and grabbed onto this tree limb.
I held on to that tree for about 2 hours.
My fear was that by trying to remove her, that it would sweep her on downstream and she wouldn't be able to hang on to the rope.
Finally, when the water level dropped, Allen and a team of firefighters pulled her 30 feet to safety. She walked away with only a sprained wrist.
Definitely a miracle.
And Allen stressed that when you encounter flooded roadways, you shouldn't assume the road is even still there underneath it. He also said it only takes a few inches of water to leave a low-lying car stranded. Maggie Rupert, 11 at 11.